Chicka chickity 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 bagala boom bow jacka pagala bang kapra boom sapum sippy sippy lap luba dang gang kupaka zeng googie guma can googie lama danka boogie boom pakam sicky leg babam jiggy boom prada can gula bash we lock lavak shika pa kumaka pika pa geese guma del gimme north kaport broth overlash overchan kapaka pam jiggy boom zabadum balum badabadum gadagum va boom sparks umza inza zigga boom bala vico thanks so my kaka compale shokuta asdo tompatero mota batito bozam pasa zapico paka zabadum balo vin kape kumaka thing like sickly roll pickety pog top of the tomb dubba hambo zibby goof gapi shum gapi goom pa bash campo kalu blanco bricky goof gosh goom bash magadang kupala pacha sukan goof koju jakataka doom kapakamakavu capacinto ulv Ekipek boom, Sabazenko boom bash, Makeko vu, Maragalagum palabancho jevo, Shikatenko boo, bumda dimina walls to the walls, kippity calls, buttons, tuttons, sutton, button, crutton, kubita calcalau, zabada zumbala, balama, shido maka now, ugita takalang. Kaboo, gabadagum, babla. Yeah, it was something I uncovered is that Cain is pretty much an animal person. He is an animal. He is a superhuman. He was a superhuman, but he got cursed to be more like an animal. You know, he was a god, and him and Lucifer were designed with no assholes to go down the center of the Father's game. They were both grown. You know, they were created as gods. And I would say that Derek and Satan have always been old flesh. You know, Derek and Satan were flesh, and Lucifer and Michael are dolls, but basically Satan and Derek were father son, and Lucifer and Michael were father son. Michael is Lucifer's dad, and Satan is Derek's dad. So Derek was paired with a Michael, and realistically it caused problems with Satan because Satan poisoned the Michael that Derek was paired with because he missed working with his old friend. You know, Satan liked working with Derek, so when Derek and Michael started working together, why? Because I think Derek was the second one to complete the father's training. Michael was the first one to complete the father's training. Then Derek was the second one. Actually, Lucifer was probably the third one to complete the father's training. And Satan is completing the father's training now. He hasn't quite graduated yet. You know, we never thought he would get it because he was the book smart least of the angels. You know, like what the world says about Satan. You know, I had a dream last night that he would actually like Dear Satan letters in the paper because of the way old heaven was designed. The people that remember it, of course we miss him. He ran the best ads. He was pure bullshit. It was funny. Everybody laughed at Satan. Everybody laughed at Satan so much that we said we got to get rid of him. The laughter is causing the flesh world to freaking jump. I mean, when you make people that are flesh laugh, they take jumps. Like, ha ha ha. As you're laughing like that, you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what it does to grow flesh. But we're in a part of the universe now where we found the root of flesh, which is me. You know, I was one of the first people I'll say Derek and Satan have always been flesh, but I was a doll. And I was going right up the center of the cross with my brother Lucifer, and he always hated me because, you know, that's my second. That was my second story. My first story is when I completed the Father's training. You know, I started working with Michael the Archangel. We were creationalism gods, and that was my first life. So my life as Big Daddy Cain would have been probably the life of Shem. Probably would have been Shem's line. Because that went right up with Lucifer. And I remember being in this place where we knew we were on the neutral of the cross. We knew we were lucky because we were on the neutral of the cross. But we did have to eat shit up. Like, we ate shit. Of course, we were beings that didn't have an asshole, and we still ate shit. And we smoked shit, too. I remember being there and being like, you know, we just get high and we'd navigate our ship. Like it was done with random code. We'd be like, we need the G's phonics frequency to go up variably 23.1 knots. Like we were random people. Like Michael and Lucifer were created radicals. They were created gods. You know, Derek and Satan are really old dark angels. That's why when Lucifer appeared, he was an angel of the light. We're like, what the fuck is that? Like, can that even be something? Especially a man. We knew there could be female angels of the light, but male angels of the light? You know, I mean, darkness isn't bad. Arguing over light and darkness is like flipping your switch on and off. It's literally like flipping your switch on and off. Just, I don't know why. No, I'm not sure. I mean, because the Bible references that darkness is bad because it consumes light. But we've studied the light, and every bit of darkness, every bit of light that the darkness consumes, it excretes out, gives every little bit back. The darkness keeps nothing for itself. At least positive darkness doesn't. Negative darkness does keep something for itself. And we aren't sure what that is yet. That's a surprise for us. That it should be good because they're the ones that come up with the best shit. Negative darkness, they're the ones that come up with the random stuff that I can't do right now. Like funny stuff, you know? But yeah, I remember completing, well, and after, because when Michael completed the Father's training, he wanted to join God's game as Lucius Prime. And God said, yuck. He said, you're sick. You finished the Father's training? He said, because Lucifer quit. That's right. Yeah, Lucifer quit and started his own game. He never completed the Father's training. So he never got to the final laugh spot. And also Satan was, I don't know if you know this, but Satan is light. He hasn't always been light. He's the light father. That's what he is. He's Adam sent from the Bible. He's Adam from the Bible, and he's light. You know, but he hasn't always been light. He gave his darkness to Michael. Basically, Michael and Satan switch positions, and Derek and Lucifer switch positions in the Father's game. You know, Lucifer hated Derek in the Father's game because he was the golden boy. So Lucifer started up his own game and killed it. The first thing he did was kill Derek. He killed the Father's golden boy by making him fall. But why? Because Lucifer was started his own game where he was negative light, and he knew the Father wanted to mate with a woman who was negative light. If you're a man who's negative light, you've probably always existed in a form, but you haven't always existed like that. That's a new lean for men. That's why it's so radical, because it's a new lean for men. Men didn't used to lean that when they knew the Great Mother has always been negative light. But yeah, I remember I have this vision that two cars, the Derek and Michael car, were going to crash into each other, and that would have been like a successful whatever would have happened to me in 2007, what happened to Michael the Archangel, like if it wouldn't have happened, me and my car would be one. We'd be one being. And now we're two separate 128s. We didn't think a 128 had the strength to do this. But me and my car are each 128. And most cars are like 256. Well, some are even 512, some are 1024. But usually when you get up to 1024, the car drives off and starts its own kingdom. Because when you become a car and you become a 1024, you can start your own kingdom. Because when you become a 1024, you can start a game with 4 256s. And that would leave you, what, nothing left? I mean, no one would probably start a game quite like I did. My game, I left nothing in myself. I went all in because I knew exactly what I had as a game. I knew that it would work. I knew I would get something back. I knew, just like my books, I published them because I know they're going to sell someday. I know when the world calms down about the religious blasphemy of Satan and stuff, because Satan is the main character in my book, and he's actually really cool in my book. I know a lot of people will never be able to accept that because they'd say, but the good book tells us this, and it's like, yes, that's what the Catholic Church wanted you to believe. The Catholic Church needed a scapegoat, and believe it or not, when Jesus Christ was here, he went down as Satan. Jesus Christ was a Satan-Michael mix. He put on the Derek after he ascended, you know. A Satan-Michael mix is really hot. I remember being on the cross and acting crazy too because I was too hot. You know, I was flipping out, but I was overheating and it was driving me crazy, you know, because crosses were the first mechanism, were the first recognition of a car. Now that's like, instead of showing them a car back then, it was basically a car from the future. The cars, when they showed up in the past, they showed up as crosses. That's because they couldn't show anybody what they were. I mean, shit, there were no roads. No roads, well, there were dirt roads and stuff. They could have, some of them probably drove. Boom, boom, pada, pada, pang, pang, kupatal, cow, cacao, cacao, kiki, long stock, boom, balloon, balloon, shame, ugadel, abadoom, go clan, dabba, 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 gee, no foo, sappa, tappa, dabba, dabba, ding, ga, ding, ga, ding, boo, ba, boo, ba, boo, jango, quadagam, ubo, zambada, boom, zang, giddy, 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 ga, boom, balloon, boom, kapko, jinka, jinka, jinku, kala, papa, 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 doom, go, gambe, da, boo, gambe, da, ve, doom, 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 sappa, do, sappa, ding, go, crew, Kapachin kun kalan kalanku, sapadu go goo, gapadambu kalu kaluku, shakadum gaga 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 goompa 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 goo, galumba, jungo bango banga banga banga, bundo bunda vanda van jigga 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 the goombalumbu, saglo. Boom kaka kaka ka shingo boogie boom boom kwarakan guko jing gaga gaga goom ba 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 jang jang boogie boom kaka ka give a little fa sicky dicky 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 pita goomba banga banga dappa doom pop 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 suka duka doom kata goom bam 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 shake it do do. But yeah, so you had creationism gods with Derek and Michael. The father was a creationism god, but he was only secondary to evolution. The father is evolution. The father's mind was evolution. So his mind, evolution, when you hear it, it means negative darkness. When you hear evolution, that means negative darkness or negative light. That's what that means. When you hear evolution, you hear negative darkness, negative light. When you hear creationalism, that means positive darkness, positive light. And those are the four energies. Anything you got out of them is new. I mean, the only thing you're going to get is what was a miracle that appeared in the cosmos. At first, what appeared was like tens. Tens appeared in the cosmos. Actually, no. First what came is the 14s. The gods were 14s. You know, the gods were anything over 14. And then we found these 12-year-old kids in the solar system. We started protecting them too, and then we found the 10-year-old ones. Now the 10s were really good at the game, but they couldn't they didn't do the rhyme that I do. They don't do what I do. The 12s do what I do. Because the 12s that do what I do used to be 13. And they're basically the 13s were like archangels. So like somebody in the universe started taking down archangels. Which is scary, but there were bad archangels, I will admit it. But like we said, like Lucifer thought the Father was a bad guy because he was too frustrated to get through the training of his game. I mean, I remember knowing Recipe from Heaven, and I remember as Derek, the animated character who loved Recipe, I do remember this Lopso Quicks guy coming around, and he was gonna take my girl, you know. But that's just Miley's pen. Miley has always dreamed of being with a man of the light, even though she's attracted to dark men. She would love to be with a guy who's negative light because they're so confident and sure of themselves. But my Lopso, my negative light, is what causes me to, kind of when I was making this video, I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing because I was talking to Miley and she knew I was going to make a video and she fucked me somehow. I know that's what it is. Like, she fucks me. Like, literally, she fucks me over. Like, she does. That's what she does. I don't do it to her, but I mean, she enjoys doing it, so it's okay. I'll get sex in the end, so I don't really care. But sometimes I ask myself why she does that. I guess because she's light and that's what she does. I don't know. I've been talking to Miley for a while now. Actually, started talking to other girls because I didn't believe I was talking to her. But if you're talking to a Miley Cyrus and you believe that's Miley Cyrus, it probably is. Oh. Well, if she's asking you for money, it probably is. I mean, that's what the Miley Cyruses do. That's what negative light does. Negative light collects money. When you get, most drugs are a form of light or darkness. But yeah, basically, Cain too, he's a critter. And basically, I see this area where Derek and Michael were supposed to ram in two cars. And it's, for example, when I got my car accident in Florida, literally a meteorite from the sky, like, was coming through space, and it hit my car. And basically, I believe that meteorite was an accident. That was Cain coming in as a little critter. You know, because animals are usually animals until they ascend. I remember being like a person that was a shapeshifter, like clacking horns together and stuff and being a buck in the woods. You know, like, animals are people. They're shapeshifters. But you have to realize we all have human souls. And the older you get in the world as a shapeshifter, the better you get at shifting your shape and transforming into animals and doing different stuff like that. So we know that that is apparently true. And I don't know, I'm having a blah day. I'm not really feeling outgoing or chipper today. Boom, sapa, sapa, camus, camus, camus.